fans. For the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies! After we're done. Welcome back to our pilot pregame show, this time live from our new official team store right here in the West Town Mall, located directly across from the food court and then right down the hall from the Dick's House of Sports with Connor Nelson. I'm Richie Giuliano. There's Marcy behind the counter, one of the best sales reps in the business, as she's going to take care of all the customers that come into the store today. Glad to have you here at the West Town Mall at our brand new location. Shop looks great, shirts, hats, you got kids stuff, jerseys, and even a new area of the team store, our collector's corner. I think very valuable here as well because of how much that has surged in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can call this the collector's corner. I think it just needs to be the collector's side of the store because it's pretty incredible what they've got going on here. There's cards of everybody. They've got action figures. They've got alternate sports. You can find anything here. There's even some Richie Giuliano baseball cards down there. You got to pick those up. They're limited edition. Not too many of them. And if you see Richie, he will sign them.
I will, yeah. I'm nice about it. All right, let's dive into our team store. And Connor and I picked out some items that we wanted to showcase live on our stream and on our pilot pregame show. I'm going to start with one of my favorite hats. I told you the first one on our first episode, and now I pulled out another one because Connor knows this. I'm a big camo guy, so I like this. I think it's a very simple camo with the Knoxville Smokies logo on it. Not too flashy.
I'm only seeing like a floating Smokies logo.
Right, yeah, there's no brim and there's no front part of the cap. It's only a Smokies logo that floats, which I think makes it very special too.
Yeah, unless you just got like too big of a forehead, then that one might get a little awkward if you're trying to pick that one out. But Richie, go ahead and give that hat a rate out of 10 to finish it off.
Out of 10, I'm going to go with a 8.5 because it's a trucker. It's also cheap, $32 for a camo hat that is a Richardson style 47. I love these hats. So one of my favorite products that we have in the store. And then I think you picked out a shirt.
I did indeed. Here, as we'll take a look at this shirt. This was one of my favorites. There's a lot of athletic type of shirts right here, but this one is more of that leisurely, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go have dinner, but I want to still rock some Smokies.
Right.
I want to show the support, but I want to look good doing it. This is one of those. It's got some alternate colors on here. You can go ahead and match it with the rest of your wardrobe. This one, hot commodity here at the new West Town Mall store.
I like it, Pretty plain, but still stands out. And then, I'm the same way. I'm not a big flashy guy, and that's why I chose this one. I think this represents what we are proud of here in the city of Knoxville, especially in the West Town Mall, and it's our Return to Knoxville shirts. And what I love about it is they have this water tower. And if you are able to stop by, come by and see us at the West Town Mall. They have a great mural outside of the brand new water tower that we have at Covenant Health Park. So I thought the Return to Knoxville 2020 were very fitting for this team store. That's brand new as well. So be sure to stop by and see us.
Yeah, but you can't forget the one thing. You're actually wearing it right now, Richie. If anybody was tuned into both the live stream that goes up on the scoreboard and this part two, how about you give them a little sneak preview of what you're repping right now?
Yeah, right. I actually just pulled this off the rack and just bought it. This is our TriStar logo, which we also sell. We promote Tennessee, just like everybody here in Knoxville. So we don't just have Smokies merch in here. We also have some Tennessee merch. And I got this vest. I thought it was pretty cool. It fits the outfit I got on today. I got the blue polo, some great pants, and now I got this nice zip-up vest, although it is 90 degrees outside, so I'm probably going to get some looks when I go into the parking lot. But I don't really care because this thing looks so cool.
Yeah, I like to call it the dad vest, but you really do bring some youthful image into that one. It's a great look.
Yeah, you asked how many kids I had. None yet. All right, we're going to dive into our pilot pregame show after, giving you a little intel on some of the merch we have at our store. And there's Marcy that's getting everything ready to go for tonight. Let's start this segment out with some Chicago Cubs news. We're the AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, and we're going to highlight some players. And we're going to start with one of our favorites, a part of the championship run in 2023, and that is Hollywood Pete Crow Armstrong. Became the fourth fastest player ever to reach 15 home runs and 20 stolen bases in a single season, and he reached that mark in just 60 games this year. All-Star voting is now live, and PCA ranks 9th in Major League Baseball with 15 home runs, 4th in RBIs, 10th in slugging, and 2nd in stolen bases. I think it's safe to say that this guy who brings a lot of energy for the Chicago Cubs is going to make the All-Star game this year in 2025.
Yeah, he's going to be a fan favorite for the voting. And one thing you didn't mention with all of those ranking leaderboards is what we got up on the screen right now, his defense. That's been one of the highlights of his game all throughout the minor leagues. Everybody knew early on that he was going to be able to play a Gold Glove caliber center field. Mick Gillespie, a big advocate of that. And he's gone up and shown his stuff. Even when he's not being able to hit, he's making an impact in the game on the defensive side, and he's been doing it all season long.
And we got to go back to a former Cub here. Red Sox reliever Aroldis Chapman linked to the Cubs in their latest trade rumors. So who knows? He might be a Cub again in 2025. They call on the left-handed pitcher at the deadline if they fall out of this AL East race, which it looks like Boston is falling out of the race right now. So Chapman could make a great combo with the Cubs righty Daniel Palencia, who was a starter in 2023 with the Knoxville Smokies. So that would add another fireballer to the back of the bullpen for the Cubs. So who knows? We might have Chapman again.
Yeah, and he might be back and better than ever. He's hit 104 on the gun this season. I know it wasn't technically 104, but still the hardest pitch thrown in the StatCast era so far. And the lefty's got it going. It just seems like Chapman's able to get better and better with age. He's like a fine wine, and I know the Cubs would love to have him back, especially as they're now sitting up in first place in the NL Central.
The Cubs have made everybody aware that they're looking for some bullpen pieces as we go towards the trade deadline at the end of July. Right now, 4.5 games up in first place, second best record in the NL behind the New York Mets, and they've had a fantastic season, but there's still a couple of things missing in the back end of that bullpen. So maybe Chapman can add to Daniel Palencia's arsenal. All right, Shota Imanaga is a guy, back-to-back bullpen sessions without setbacks, has been given a green light to face live hitters at the team's spring training complex in Arizona. The Cubs, Imanaga has been sidelined since May 5th with a left hamstring strain. He's going to face live hitters finally this week, and the club wants to make Imanaga's return a cautionable one. They don't want to rush him back into this thing.
That's correct, and, I think that gets Smokies fans maybe a little bit excited. I know we're going on the road for the next 2 weeks, but if the Cubs go ahead and stretch out Imanaga's recovery, he could very well make an appearance in Knoxville in the final month or week of June, the month we're in right now, and that could be really exciting to see the fans pack the stadium out for one of the premier left-handed pitchers on the Cubs roster.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Last year we got Kyle Hendricks, which was awesome. 2016 World Series champion, one of the greatest pitchers the Cubs have had in the last decade. So it was awesome to see Kyle Hendricks on a Sunday come out and throw in front of a crowd of over 4,500. And Jameson Taillon also pitched for the Smokies. So we had two big leaguers last year in 2024 come back to Kodak and pitch. Always special to see that. Just a fun time, and great to see major leaguers get back in action. So Imanaga could be a guy. And the playoffs could be right around the corner, too. Maybe he'll start the deciding game for the playoff. Who knows?
That could be incredible, especially with so much meaning with the first half here in the minor leagues. Richie, for all of our fans right now watching, what does the first half mean in terms of the playoffs here in the Southern League? Because it's not the same as the MLB.
Right. So if you win the first half of the playoffs, you automatically get a berth into the Southern League postseason, and you host 2 games out of the 3 scheduled. So, for example, last year it was the Birmingham Barons that won the first half of the season. The Smokies had such a good second half. They had a 16-game record better than Birmingham, but only got one home playoff game last year. So it's vital to win the first half because you're guaranteed to be the home team in the best of 3 series. That's the advantage you have of winning the first half of the season. And it's 4 or 5 months in advance. So you're guaranteed to have a great crowd for that game.
Yeah, and the first half meaning so much. I know the second half comes to a close in September just before the MLB playoffs start. So you got to make sure you're marking your calendars for the end of the first and second half. High stakes on both of those dates.
This is our Pilot pregame show. We want to remind you that Pilot is committed to connecting people and places with comfort and a smile at every stop. Check out one of our conveniently located stations. Try our delicious burritos, jumbo wings, tenders, pizza, hot home style meals, and more. Pilot, see you out here. We are at the Westtown Mall here in Knoxville, Tennessee at our new Smokies Team Store. This is the first half of our Pilot pregame show. When we come back, we're going to highlight the game. What's coming up? It's the Smokies and the Lookouts in Game 3 of this series.
Is it playing?
Why was that?
Huh? Did you click it?
I thought I did, but it didn't light up.
Well, this one has the Pilot one on it, too.
Okay. Well, good.
Okay.
At least I didn't.
Well, no, we already technically did our get. That was something I had written down as like a pre-planned thing if we were able to have all that kind of stuff, but we weren't. So we're just on the back half now. Start your engine. Should we do that in unison? You're just going to be like, and racing night, and I'm just going to cut you off with start your.
Yeah, you do it.
She's like, I don't know. I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be in the way. I said, no, you're fun.
Just on the scoreboard at Covenant Health Park.
Right? I'm not telling.
Marcy, you sure you don't want to come on?
We're back on like now.
Never mind. All right, welcome back to the Westtown Mall here at the Knoxville Smokies new team store with Connor Nelson, Richie Giuliano, and Marcy's around here somewhere doing the actual work in our team store, making sure that all of our fans are taken care of. This is game number 3 of the series between the Chattanooga Lookouts and the Knoxville Smokies, and we're going to give you a quick review of the starting pitching matchup tonight. For the Smokies, it's Chris Cashmar, 2-3 record with a 4.25 ERA. Good fastball and curveball mix, but as of late has been getting hit. So what's the key for him to dial in today?
For Cashmar, it's going to be keeping the top in check. We know he's historically in his Double-A career better against the bottom lineup, so he's going to be focusing on those first 3 hitters, and we'll give some more detail on that once we get to our keys to the game.
And then for Chattanooga, Jose Franco, a prospect, a 3-2 record and a 3.03 ERA, has had some trouble, though, against the Smokies. That's been the only team that's had his number this year. And Knoxville looking to get on the right-hander early like they did the second time they saw him. They scored, I believe, 4 runs in the first inning, and that was Hearn who had a big hit to right field, and that's how they got to Franco early. He's, highly talented as one of the Reds' top prospects in their pitching rotation. We saw Rhett Lauder here last year. He already made it to the big leagues, and they think that Jose Franco could be on the same timeline as Rhett Lauder to get up to the big leagues this year or maybe even early next year. So a good pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds prospect tonight. All right, let's dial into our lineups for game number 3. And for the Smokies, great to see Corey Joyce back in it. Let's dive into it, Connor. You got it.
All right, well, at the top, it's our Mint Gaming Hall leadoff batter of the game, as always, Brett Bateman, setting the table for the Smokies, playing center field tonight. Being followed by the switch-hitting second baseman, Pedro Ramirez, who's stayed hot. He's still second on the team in RBIs. Going to look to keep doing it up there in the 2 spot. He's been playing great defense as well. And then, like Richie mentioned, the return of Corey Joyce back in the 3 hole, manning the 6th spot. B.J. Murray Jr. going to follow behind him in the cleanup spot, doing the DHing. We got Ethan Hearn in the 5 hole today. 3 big flies on the season. He's playing first base. followed by another catcher, Pablo Aliendo, in the 6th spot doing the catching tonight for Chris Cashmar. And then it's going to be Parker Chavers, my key to the game last night, who scored the lone run for the Smokies. He's back in the lineup out of the 7th spot, playing left field. And then it's going to be Ray Vaj Garcia, the newest Smoky in this batting lineup. He's going to be the hitting second baseman out of the 8 hole. And then Jalen Palmer, the power speed threat, coming out of the 9 spot, playing right field. And Richie, what do we got for the opposing Chattanooga Lookouts?
All right, for the Lookouts, led by their manager, Jose Moreno, they come in 25-24. That's second in the Southern League North. They're only a game and a half back of first, with Birmingham as the leader right now in this league. Chattanooga had 3 games canceled last week, so they're lucky to get some games in this week. Edwin Arroyo, their top 10 prospect, the switch-hitting second baseman, leads it off. Hector Rodriguez in left field batting second. Sal Stewart, who's atop the league leader with a .319 batting average, bats third at third base. Ethan O'Donnell, the center fielder, cleans it up. Ruben Ibarra, who was the hero last night for Chattanooga, he had the go-ahead hit in the extra inning frame. He bats fifth and does the DHing rule. Dominic Patelli bats sixth, the shortstop. Cade Hunter catches and bats seventh. Austin Hendrick in right field batting eighth. And Austin Callahan, the 9-hitting first baseman. We already talked about it. Jose Franco is your starter tonight, 3-2 with a 3.03 ERA. All right, we did it earlier. Let's dive into the Southern League standings real quick. We'll start at the top. Birmingham in first place with a 28-24 record. They're a game and a half ahead of Chattanooga. Knoxville 3 games back at 25-27, and Rocket City at 20-31. They're in last in the North. In the South, it's Biloxi as the league leader. 31 wins and 22 losses for the Shuckers. Montgomery 2 games back at 29-24. They have won 8 out of their last 10 games, so they're on a roll. Pensacola in third at 25-28, and then Columbus is tied for last place at 23-26. That's your Southern League standings. Time for our keys to the game. And Connor, you kind of talked about it briefly, but let's dive into keeping the top prospects in check here for the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Yeah, it's the top prospects and the top of the lineup here that Chris Cashmar is really going to have to focus in on and keep them in check. Throughout his Double-A career, he's great against the bottom of the order. When batters are batting from the 4 to 9 spot, they're only hitting .205 against him in 60 games with 138 strikeouts. So Cashmar is dominant when he gets into a groove and he's able to find that rhythm. But against the opening 3 hitters, Cashmar's led up a .320 batting average to these front 3 guys. And the Chattanooga Lookouts stack the top of their lineup with top prospects. You got Edwin Arroyo, Hector Rodriguez, who's been on a little bit of a colder spell, but then Sal Stewart, who was tossed from the game just yesterday, and I know he's probably still feeling it after that. He's going to be hot and ready to make an impact here in game number 3.
Yeah, my key to the game here tonight is having Corey Joyce back into this lineup balances it for the Smokies, because the last couple nights with him out, Pedro Ramirez is your best hitter. Well, with no Joyce in the lineup, they were pitching around Ramirez and getting to the 5 and 6 holes and retiring the side. So the key is having Joyce back in there, because now that he's batting third, Ramirez is in front of him. So you have to pitch to Ramirez. You can't pitch around him because now you have Joyce on deck. It's a big addition to the lineup tonight, having those 2 guys in the 2 and 3 hole. And I think the Smokies 1 through 4 really match up well against the top prospects for Chattanooga. So that's my key to the game here tonight.
Yeah, and Corey Joyce, you can see it just off the stats. He's the only guy in the batting lineup batting over 300, and he's going to have to keep this offense on his back. B.J. Murray seems to come up in those clutch moments. Brett Bateman and Pedro Ramirez seem to be great at setting the table, but that consistent presence in the 3 spot is Corey Joyce, and thank God he's back.
All right, you know what tonight is, Connor. It's racing
Start
night.
your engines.
Couldn't do it much better than that.
No, that was perfect.
Hey, we're going to have a really cool car outside of our plaza for racing night, and we're also going to be giving away our die-cast cars. We have a camouflage race car, and we also have a blue one. So the first 2,000 fans at the gates tonight will receive one of these, either the blue one that Connor's got there with some flames, and then this one, which is a camouflage one. Pretty cool.
What
if
are you
look
even
at the
holding
top.
up there, Richie? I'm not even seeing that. Again, it's like the hat you were pulling up earlier.
Right.
What's wrong with this stuff?
There's nothing in it.
I just can't see it.
Orange on the top with the Knoxville Smokies logo, and then Knoxville on the hood of the car. I know it's kind of hard to see there with the glare, but that's what you're getting tonight on racing night. And it's also Thirsty Thursday. You can't forget about that. Fans can enjoy half-price draft beers all night long at the stadium. The best Thirsty Thursday was last week because we had a doubleheader.
That's right.
You had beer flowing from 5 o'clock all the way up to 10 o'clock at night.
And this is just one of the themes in minor league baseball that you don't see anywhere else. People are going to show up on Thursdays just for the half-priced draft beers, and maybe you'll find it at your local college bar, but nowhere are you going to be able to soak in an atmosphere like Covenant Health Park while getting blasted for half off.
It's meet and greet with the NHRA drivers.
National Hot Rod Association, isn't it?
Take a photo with actual racing vehicles. Obviously, Connor's already got Thirsty Thursday started.
Whoa.
We will also have the chance for you to win free tickets to the Bristol Night Race as well. So that's going to be a cool game. Atlanta and Cincinnati playing in Bristol at the Motor Speedway, the first ever Major League Baseball game in this state. So you got a chance to win free tickets to the Bristol Night Race.
Who you rooting for in that matchup, Braves-Reds?
Braves.
I think we're both aligned here. Go Cubbies. We need that NL Central looking as weak as possible. But, I mean, the Cubs still sitting atop the NL Central with the second-best record in the NL, really setting themselves up to be a buyer at the trade deadline and making a really good push towards a World Series run.
All right, that was our Pilot pregame show. Pilot is committed to connecting people and places with comfort, care, and a smile at every stop. Check out one of our conveniently located stations. Try our delicious burritos, wings, tenders, pizza, hot home-style meals, and more. Pilot, see you out here. I want to remind you that tomorrow we will be at Carolina Ale House again for another pregame show. So come by, see us. We'll have a chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to any Smokies 2025 regular season game. We're going to do some trivia again at the Ale House. So stop on by right off of Kingston Pike, about a 20-minute trip from the ballpark. And we hope you visit us this weekend. We got Princesses in the Park night. We got these cool die-cast cars to give away on racing night. A lot of great promotions throughout the weekend. So check out SmokiesBaseball.com for more information. We're going to sign off from the for the team store. For Connor and Marcy, I'm Richie. So long, and we'll talk to you tomorrow at the Carolina Ale House, 5 o'clock on the Smokies Baseball Network.
Fans, for the first time in over 25 years, it's time to introduce your Knoxville Smokies.
Go Smokies! Woo!